Now, let us see the political developments during the time of Jainism and Buddhism period. So in the beginning of 6th century, there were two type of systems which were gaining in India. That is the republics, wherein the village assemblies, Sabha and Samiti were having some voice. They were the Shakyas, Licchavis and Mallas were example of republic Rashtras, whereas the monarchs were also evolving around the Ganga region. So the monarch was basically the king is the executive head and he will be assisted by the ministers, but the final decision in justice and all the matters would be from the monarch. So this was the famous type, and 16 Mahajanapadas were of the monarch type. There is a mention of the 16 Mahajanapadas in the Buddha book Anuguttara Nikaya. So in the mid 6th century BC, major 4 Mahajanapadas only existed. All were either conquered by each other, and at last these 4 emerged the strongest Mahajanapadas: Magadha, Kosala, Avanti and Vatsa. Let us see few details on these classes. First, let us see Vatsa. It was situated on the banks of river Yamuna, and Kausambi was the capital. Important king was Udayana, and this kingdom was finally annexed by Avanti. Next, Avanti dynasty. Here, the capital was Ujjaini. Important ruler Pradyota, who took to Buddhism. Finally, this kingdom was annexed by the Magadha. Next Janapada is the Kosala, and the capital was Ayodhya. Prasenjit was an important ruler. He made alliance with the Bimbisara of Magadha but fought with his son Ajatashatru. Finally, it was annexed by the Magadha Mahajanapada. Finally, the most important Mahajanapada of the 6th BC, which emerged victorious over all the Mahajanapadas, was Magadha. The major reason is the good strategic location of the empire around the Ganga banks, and it was a well built fortified city. Initially, the capital was Rajagriha, and Bimbisara was the important ruler. And around the Magadha Mahajanapada, many dynasties flourished, ruled Magadha. So the first dynasty is the Haryanka dynasty, and Bimbisara was the first ruler of the Aryanka dynasty. He made matrimonial alliance with Koshala, Licchavi and Madras. He defeated the Angas, supported both Jainism and Buddhism. Next important ruler is Ajatashatru. He fought Koshala and Vaishali, and he fortified Patliputra. First he took to Jainism, then became Buddhist. His son Udayin made Patliputra as capital. So first it was Rajagriha, then Patliputra was made capital by Udayin. Next dynasty is Saisunga dynasty. Saisunga took Avanti from Magadha, and Kakravarman or Kala Ashoka were the important rulers of the Saisunga dynasty. Next important dynasty was Nanda dynasty, who was founded by Mahapadmananda. He was a great empire builder. Hathigumpa inscription of Kravela at Kalinga speaks about his empire building skills. During this period of Nanda, the Persian and Greek invasion started taking place. First we have Cyrus, who took invasion for Gandhara. Then Darius I, who invaded Punjab and the Sindh region. Xerxes of Greek and Darius III also started invading after the other rulers. So basically the effect of the invasion was art and edicts of the Ashoka and the Mauryans who came later of Nandas was impacted, and it was written in the Kharoshthi script of the Greek. And next we have Alexander of Macedonia. It is the greatest invasion in the northwest. So in the Battle of Arbela, Alexander defeated Darius III, and in 327 BC he entered the Hindu Kush region, and in the important battle of Hydaspes with Porus, Alexander won, but he reinstated Porus and went back. Next, the major effect of this invasion was trade with the Greek became more stronger, and the Indian Mahajanapadas felt that there is a lack of unity, and they wanted to get unified to avoid these further unifications. Thereby, Chandragupta Maurya, with the guidance of Chanakya, got Maurya Empire started and politically united India.